Cesspeel.
They said he would be a vegetable for the rest of his life after a drinking and driving accident back in April of 2011 nearly took his life. Fast forward to today, 21-year-old Dean Wardak is beating the odds and showing others that life continues after tragedy.
Before the accident, I was a normal teenager. I was at Humber College I was in a home renovation program. I was also working part-time at the local grocery store. So I was a normal teenager, would go out, party with my friends, hang out. Just a normal, typical teenager.
Dean doesn't remember much from that fateful night. He had been drinking at a party and then proceeded to get into his car. Although the teen had walked to the venue expecting to drink, he doesn't know what brought him to drive after leaving the party. According to the police report, his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit.
The very first thing I remember was my family praying over me and me seeing my brother and us locking eyes, and then he thought I was looking at him, but he wasn't sure. So then he raised his eyebrows at me like the Joker he is, and then so I copied him. But no one saw this happening. So then he got everyone's attention, and then did it again. And then once again I raised my eyebrows, and my family started dying of laughter, just because that was the first thing they ever seen me do since the accident happened. And then me seeing their laughter, I also started laughing.
It was at this very intersection of Glen Erin and Britannia where the young teen almost lost his life. According to Mad Canada, motor vehicle crashes is the leading cause of death among 15 to 25-year-olds, and 87% of these drivers are male. Dean hopes that in sharing his story, he will help lower these numbers.
When I seen the car and the nature of the damage, I didn't think he was going to be alive. So that was my first question to the police. When I got there, I said, "That's my car and my son, is he alive?" And they responded that he was without vital signs and the paramedics were working on him. From there, they transferred him to Credit Valley Hospital, which I drove to immediately after, and they pretty well gave me the same news that Dean was in very grave condition, and they were transporting him to St. Michael's Hospital in Toronto, which is a trauma center.
Upon arriving to St. Michael's, Dean was already in a coma. He remained this way for 2 weeks. The doctors advised the Wardak family to take their son off of life support. The next day, Dean woke up.
We expected him to wake up and walk home, and it never did happen. It's just a slow recovery where baby steps where he's able to at first blink. He had a tracheotomy done. So many things we've been through. They wanted to do a brain surgery to drain the excess water in his brain. We've just been through so much, I can't even recall it all. It was just so traumatic.
David has not stopped caring for Dean since the accident. From accompanying his son to his appointments, to making sure the 21-year-old gets his daily dose of exercise, David Wardak is always there supporting Dean.
Monday to Friday, I usually get home at 8 p.m. I grab a quick bite and I take Dean walking at Credit Valley Hospital, or I take him to the community gym and let him exercise. I bathe in the evening Dean and get him ready for bed and the next day. Free time, I play hockey on Sundays. I scheduled a couple hours for myself to relieve the stress that I have.
Dean's rehabilitation support worker, Mark Robert, is another important person in his life. Mark helps Dean with his physical limitations.
Dean and I started working together probably about a year and a half ago. I was contracted through an outside agency to do neurocognitive rehabilitation with Dean. Basically, we kind of hit it off socially at the time, but since then we've been kind of working, taking the baby steps that it takes for him to get back to the physical ongoings of daily life that he kind of lost through his accident. When I first met Dean, he had difficulty standing up out of his chair, like just on the physical end of things. He had difficulty standing up out of his chair on his own. He was unable to support his own weight. He was unable to use his hands for the purposes of feeding himself. Since we started working together, all of that has changed. He now feeds himself. He is able to walk with support for balance just to make sure nothing happens, but for the most part, he can do up to 150 meters of walking, standing up on his own. He's able to support his own balance now. His physical progress continues to get better drastically.
Dean is determined to get better and walk on his own one day. He works hard every day to achieve his goal. One of the major things Dean is trying to overcome is a condition called muscle tone. What that means is that his muscles automatically contract. Dean's left arm, for example, is involuntarily flexed. He must stretch it out daily to release some of the tension.
So the alternative to this was that they want to cut the bicep just to relieve that tension, so Dean can put on his shirt or whatever without his arm being in front of him. We didn't really want to opt for that option yet. We wanted to see if we can stretch his arm first. If this doesn't work, then we will revert to the second option.
Well, ideally, I want to be walking and able to use my right hand to grab things. I want to be able to grab a drink from the fridge, pour a glass of milk. I want to be able to go outside, go for a walk by myself without being worried of falling. I just want to be able to be independent.
I'm very proud of Dean. I didn't know Dean as a person before this accident, it seems. Dean has been just a shining star. He has thought of other people during the course of his recovery. He's always friends with the support workers, the medical people, doctors, nurses, therapists. He's always been funny, friendly, helpful to other patients, trying to be inspiring to them through his own actions. He is very positive.
One of Dean's greatest accomplishments has been his newly discovered passion for public speaking. Dean now visits different schools across the city to talk about his accident.
When I was speaking there the first time, I was so nervous. I was speaking really high. I was speaking really quickly. But then after, when the students came up to me, giving me compliments about how my story has really touched me, how it really hit home for them. In my mind, I was thinking, man, I'm definitely doing the right thing. This is what I have to do in life.
And every day, Dean is one step closer to achieving independence as he continues to work hard and touch the lives of others.
No matter what you do in life, just work really hard, because if you're determined and motivated to do anything, you'll be surprised what you can accomplish.
In Mississauga, Angela Hoyos, Access Peel.
Joined now by Brian Witt, who